Hey there YouTube, my name is Pixar Prime 10 and welcome back to another episode of Mega Man 4. Today you and I are going to be looking at the Mega Man 11 Mega Man vs. Dr. Wily action diorama. I have been very excited to bring you guys this review for a very long time. I actually didn't get this item until very recently. When planning out the videos for Mega Man 4, I decided I needed something big and really cool to be the centerpiece of the season. In previous years like Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3, I had stuff like the Mega Buster or the Proto Buster, which were really cool big items. When it was originally on sale, it was somewhere around $50, and that was quite honestly too much for me. But very recently, it went on sale at GameStop for $27, and I decided that was a perfect price for me to get this and bring it to you guys as a video review. Like I've said in previous episodes already, this has been a great time for Mega Man. Mega Man 11 came out in the fall, and there's just been awesome resurgence in the series that I absolutely love. The artwork here on the front of the box is absolutely beautiful. You have the really crisp-looking Mega Man 11 logo down there, and the awesome artwork of Mega Man from Mega Man 11 that I mentioned in the first episode of Mega Man 4 that is my favorite artwork of Mega Man to date. And in the back, you have a really evil-looking picture of his arch-nemesis, Dr. Wily there. And on the bottom, it says what it is, Mega Man vs. Dr. Wily Action Diorama. On the back of the box, we actually get an image of what the statue diorama looks like. Again, we have the Mega Man 11 logo, a really cool picture of Dr. Wily there again, and of course, an image of the toy. It says up here you get Dr. Wily groveling bobblehead action, which is just absolutely hilarious. And as you can see, this actually is it actually does look like they're models from in-game of Mega Man 11, which I really appreciate. On the side of the box, you just have that same illustration of Mega Man with the title of the figure and the Mega Man 11 logo. On the top, you just have a really big Mega Man 11 logo once more, which looks really good, and there's nothing going on the bottom. But as absolutely beautiful as the artwork is, I'm really excited for what's inside. So what do you say we mega bust this box open and take a look? All right, here we have the toy out of its box, which I'm really glad about because as beautiful as it was really big and took up a lot of room. But here you can see the Mega Man vs. Dr. Wily action diorama, and I just gotta tell you, my general first impressions of this thing is that it's really cool. If you're a classic Mega Man fan like I am, you know how much of an iconic thing this is for Dr. Wily to be groveling for forgiveness to Mega Man. It's such a trend in the series that they even made a point of showing Dr. Wily begging Mega Man for forgiveness in every single one of the Mega Man games at the end of, I think it was Mega Man 10. No, it was Mega Man 9. At the end of Mega Man 9, Rush made hologram images of all of the past games, the ending where Dr. Wily would beg Mega Man for his forgiveness. Because, well, Dr. Wily's evil, he does an evil plan, Mega Man defeats him, and then, well, once Dr. Wily is defeated, he'll beg for forgiveness to Mega Man, and then he'll just go off and do another evil scheme again. As you can see, the figures are on a base here, it's really cool because this really does look like a piece of the environment taken straight out of Mega Man 11. You have the arrows here, which would indicate that this treadmill is going to move this way, which in my mind actually doesn't make much sense, because if this was moving, you'd think they'd be moving with it, and they wouldn't be able to stop like this. But, you know, maybe it got turned off or something. But I really appreciate that they didn't just put it on a single solid color base, that they actually did something special with it, like taking a piece of the scenery from the game and putting them on it. I think that's really cool. The sculpt on the characters is just really fantastic. Look, Mega Man absolutely has his proportions of his model from Mega Man 11. The paint is really nice and shiny, and it's really clear, and there's no bleeding anywhere that I can see. And there's not any paint scuffs, and his eyes especially look really beautiful. So like on Dr. Wily, his hair and his head are all different pieces of plastic, so they didn't have to paint it, they could just mold it in that color, which avoids a lot of paint. The same for Mega Man. Although some parts of him are painted, his head and his helmet are two different pieces of plastic. I think I would have liked to see Mega Man have one arm as a Mega Buster, just because, you know, it's Mega Man. I love when he has his Mega Buster, but this is also really cool. All the way around, that detail doesn't stop. You can even see he has some little black details on his wrists there and on his bottom of his leg there, which is also on this side here on both his other arm and leg. I'm usually not a fan of statues / dioramas because I like to choose how the figure is going to look myself, but this here is such a nice looking molded thing that I think it looks really great. Obviously, because it is a statue, it does not have any articulation. You can't move Mega Man's head or his arms or anything. He's stuck in that pose, but it's a really cool pose, so I kind of like it. And Wily also looks absolutely fantastic. This is actually the only physical representation of, in at least toy form, that I have of Dr. Wily. And what's a better pose to put Dr. Wily in than him groveling? The paint on him looks absolutely fantastic. I love the way his head looks if I can kind of angle it towards you there. It really does look like these guys popped right out of the game. You got his gray hair and his mustache, and his eyes are closed like he's begging for forgiveness. And it's kind of hard to see because it blends in with my background, but he's got his lab coat on, and he's got his classic red tie. and he just looks absolutely great. One thing that I'm not really sure how I feel about on this figure is the bobblehead feature. It does make sense to me because, you know, he would be, please, Mega Man, please don't kill me. But in the actual games, you know, his arms go up and down, his whole body goes up and down. It's not just his head nodding at Mega Man. And, you know, it's hard to complain about it because it's not something they needed to do. It's just an added feature, and it actually does give a little bit of life to this. But, you know, it's such a quick, you know, up and down that it doesn't really look too realistic to me. It kind of just looks weird. But, you know, if you kind of have it slowed down a little bit, like right there, it really does look like he's begging for forgiveness, which is actually pretty funny. One thing that's strange is that if you look at it from this angle, you can see directly in there, you can see the spring and you can see the, you know, the inside of Wily's body, which is really weird. If you look at it from the side here, it looks really, really great. Looking at it from this angle, I don't like how there's that gap in there, which is unavoidable because of the fact that it's a bobblehead, it needs to move, but it's also not like I'm going to be displaying it head on like that on my shelf. I'm going to have it most likely like this because this is the best angle for it. Now, as cool as this thing is, there is a few things that I wish it would do. Like I said, I only ended up paying about $27 for this. I think $27 is pretty much a perfect price for this. Back when it was retailing for $50, there's no way I would have bought it, which is why I didn't. To me, it doesn't do enough to warrant being $50. It might have actually retailed for $40, but even then, I still think that's too much. One thing that I think would have been really cool is either some lights or sounds on this thing. Maybe if there was a light switch on the bottom and you could turn it on, maybe these yellow arrows would light up and maybe you could have Mega Man's ears light up. And then at that point, maybe you could have exchanged his arm for a Mega Buster and you could have had the Mega Buster light up. As it is now, it's not something I need or the figure absolutely needs to have. It just would have been a really nice feature to have. I am a sucker for anything with lights, and I think that would have been a really cool addition. And as for sounds, maybe you could have had a button that could have had Mega Man charging a charge shot. It could have had Dr. Wily groveling, maybe him sobbing. Could have had Mega Man going, "It's over, Wily," or something like that. But again, as a $27 toy, this doesn't need that. Back when it was retailing for much more, I think it needed something to warrant that price tag. But yeah, because it's a statue, there's not much you can say about it other than the fact that it looks really good. Either it's going to look good or it's not going to look good. I think this is going to be a really nice centerpiece type thing for my Mega Man display. I think it's going to look great in between my Mega Buster and my Proto Buster. And now I have a physical representation of Dr. Wily, which I really appreciate, and he can beg for forgiveness. The base definitely does feel hollow, so there definitely would have been room for lights in there. But, you know, it's not that big of a deal. I think maybe if you're talking about electronics, you could have had maybe a mechanism where Wily's head goes up and down like that, or maybe his body goes up and down, and Mega Man shakes his fist, or something like that. But, you know, at its simplest, this is a diorama, and it looks really good. If I darken things up a little bit, you can actually see that there is some more molding on Wily's jacket. It really does look like fabric. You got, you know, a line there from his back, and it, you know, kind of how it hits the floor, which I totally appreciate. As a huge fan of the Mega Man franchise, I would actually highly recommend this product. Though it doesn't do much, it's a really nice addition to any Mega Man collection, and any Mega Man fan would probably like having it. One thing that I will definitely say is that I would not buy this thing if it's going for $40 to $50 like when it first went on sale. It's a great piece to have, but I definitely don't think it's worth that much money for what you're getting. If you are going to pick it up, I would highly recommend going to your local GameStop and seeing if it's on sale and finding it there like I did. But because there's not much that you can do with this statue, there's not much else I can say. So I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.